Hey everybody, how are ya? How are ya? Come on in. It's good to have you here. Very good to have you here. Grab a seat. All right. Taking care of a couple of things I forgot to do. It's always something. It's always something. You think you're all ready, and then you forget that one last detail. You know what I mean? Hi, Travis and Carla and Nanette and Vicky, Auntie Michael JZ. How are you guys? I hope you're having a great Friday. It's a good Friday here. It's always a good Friday. Anytime I get to spend time with you guys, it's a good day. You know what I mean? I hope you know what I mean, because it's the truth. Love streaming with you guys, spending time here, chatting with the world. And that is one of the coolest parts about it, is you get to chat with the world. Hey, Ruth. Barb Ross in the flesh. Ruth was my savior yesterday. Hi, Judy. Hi, Sherry Spatz. Yeah, yesterday I was supposed to teach a class for the website for the VIP members. And got everything. I was even early. I had everything ready. Okay, I had everything ready. Everything's set out. Everything's ready. I was early. Went to set up the computers, and my system involves two different computers, two different kinds of computers, and one would not listen to the other one. I'm like, what? What is wrong with you? So it was crazy. But fortunately for me, and I got on my flannel shirt today. It's a little cooled off here today. And besides that, we're doing messy stuff. So, you know, got me on my old crap shirt. So, yeah. Fortunately, Ruth was in the place where we do the class. And I was able to communicate with her while the technical department was hard at work in the background trying to fix the issue. So anyway, all seems right with the world today. So that's good. Let's see. Who else is here? Patty. Hi, Patty Bear. Patty, are you the one that's been... I don't always make all the names go together in my head. Are you the one that's been tweeting me the Inktober mandalas? Hi, Miriam. Miriam, I just hardly recognize you since you're writing in English. I hardly know it's you. Ruth, I know you're blushing, Ruth. I can see it right through the screen. Hi, Tia. Hey, Deb. It is you. Okay, so Patty Bear in the chat. If you guys are on Twitter, follow Patty or follow me, Barb Owen Designs. It's at Barb Owen Designs with an S at the end. And look at those Inktobers. I've been trying to retweet them when I think about it, trying to retweet them. She's got some really beautiful mandalas that she's doing for Inktober on there. They're really stunning. So, beautiful. Hi, Yvonne. Miriam says, I can go back to Hebrew. You're a lot less likely to be thought of as spamming when it's a different, I'm not saying you're spamming. But sometimes when we get people in here, if they don't start talking in English, if they start or typing in English, they start typing in other languages. And I understand not everybody speaks English. Believe me, I get that. But that's what the stream is. It's English. And so I need people to speak in English so that, anyway, you know what I mean. You're welcome, Patty. Hi, Jane. Hi, Linda. Hi, Marie. Oh, it's nice to have you guys here. It's so great to have you here. Okay, so, yeah, I already gave you the weather report. And in case some of you are new, because we always have new friends. Hi, Miss Allie. We always have new people that come in. My name is Barb Owen. I have a website called HowToGetCreative.com. It is a membership website. It is full of creative arts video classes of all different kinds. The website ranges from sewing videos to doll making videos to art videos to art journaling, art supplies using different, exploring a category of art supplies and how to use them in all different kinds of ways. What else do I do? Paste paper. I don't know. We do a lot of stuff. We're doing paste paper here today too. Paste paint techniques. Anyway, so there's a whole wide range. There's bookbinding videos. There's, I don't know. Ruth will probably fill you in. She knows the rest of the category. Ruth probably knows the website better than I do. Hi, Krissa. Oh, Deb missed the weather report. Okay, Deb, can you hear me? It is cooled off, hence the flannel shirt, and sunny and beautiful. It's like the perfect fall day in the Midwest. It's like the perfect. Hi, Carol TMT. So, anyway, that's what the website's about. I own the website, the technical department that you see here from time to time, aka Race. He does all the behind-the-scenes stuff for me and is, whether I want to or not, teaching me how to do this stuff, which is great. I deeply appreciate it, let me tell you. So anyway, that's that. And that's who I am. And I stream every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern right here on this channel on YouTube. And you're always welcome to join in. A couple of other things I thought I would tell you. If you're watching live, and some of you that are here now could help other people with this as they come in. Sometimes when you're watching, you come in and you don't get here at the beginning. I mean, that happens to me all the time. One of the cool things about YouTube is that you can scroll back in real time and you can actually, look back. I think it seems like it's up to 30 minutes or an hour. I've forgotten which. But anyway, you can scroll back in real time and you can listen. Like if somebody wants to know, well, what is she doing, or how did this start, or whatever, you can actually scroll back and then you can catch up, come forward in real time. And it's kind of like TiVo, if any of you are familiar with that. Hi, Bunny. And so I just thought I would tell you that, because sometimes I forget to tell you some of those things. I just assume everybody knows and that. Oh, let's see. Also, we have an email list that goes out specifically to let you know that we've gone live. And you will find that sign up link in the description box right below the video window. So you can just click, there's a little arrow or something that says show more or whatever, and that expands the description box. You can click on that link and you can sign up there if you want to receive an email that lets you know that we've gone live. Carla says, when YouTube cooperates. Yeah, okay, got it. So if you want to know when we've gone live, you can do that. You can click that link. It will allow you to sign up with your email address, and then you'll know that we've gone live. And one other thing I wanted to ask you, because I know some of you, again, we have new people all the time, and I forget to say this to you, but I don't know how many of you are aware of the fact that we put out a daily newspaper. Okay, it's a newspaper that goes out every single day, and it winds up in your email box and your inbox. And so you'll have the opportunity to see lots of different kinds of creative websites, videos, blogs, and we try to cover a range of things from sewing to art journaling to watercolor to acrylics to bookbinding to lots of different kinds of things. So you'll find the link to that. It's free, comes out every morning. And if you want to sign up for that, you're welcome to do that. You'll find the link to that also in the description box below. Okay? Hey, Lynn Boyer, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I miss talking to you. I do. Okay, just checking the chat. All right, everything seems to be going okay. So those are just sort of some businessy kinds of things. So today is the HowToGetCreative.com show, known as Drama Free Friday. And sometimes I forget, I think everybody knows. Oh, itchy nose. You know what that means, right? It means I'm going to kiss a fool. Don't tell Claus Man. He's watching the chat, so he'll probably come back and make some remark. Ruth didn't know about the newsletter. Ruth, you didn't know about the newsletter? Oh my goodness, how did you miss that? How did you miss that? Hi, Kasha. It's so nice to have everybody. Hi, Sherry Habing. I don't know how to say her last name. Sherry Shabs, that's what we call her. Rebecca, hey, I haven't seen you for a while. Flyover Pilgrim is Rebecca. Good to see you. Hello, Ian. I just saw Ian pop in. Welcome to Ian. Ian and Travis, our journal guy Travis, there are guys that represent the male population, and we appreciate you. Especially appreciate Ian's sense of humor. Muktha, hello. I hope I said it right. I have my note. Anyway, it's Drama Free Friday. And why is it Drama Free Friday? Sometimes I forget to tell you that. So thought I would tell you that. The reason it's Drama Free Friday because there is plenty of drama in the world. I mean, from soup to nuts, we'll just say that. There is a ton of drama in the world. I mean, it's the way the world is. And honestly, it's the way the world always has been. There is a lot of stuff out there. And there is nothing... Here's my philosophy. And it's not up for debate. Okay? My philosophy is not up for debate. It's just what it is. My feeling is if you have the power and the ability to do something about what's going on, then you should be out there doing it. And if you can't, if you don't have the ability to do it, then getting all worked up about it is not going to solve the problem for the next couple of hours. And so we suspend, we take the world stuff that we really don't have any control over for the next couple of hours, and we just put it outside, like banish it from this room, banish it from the chat. We just banish the drama so that for the next couple of hours, we just take a break, we just breathe, we just relax, and we just have fun. Okay? So that's how it got the name Drama Free Friday. Oh no, Linda says the dog ate her homework, her artwork from last week. Oh no, I hope that's not true. I hope that's not true. Hi, Glinda. Hi, Ina. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Angie, my fairy treasure, Angie. So, yeah. Pavla, hey, I haven't seen you in a long time. Good to have you here. I haven't seen... Hi, Katie. Kate. Buffering is buffering? You guys having a hard time? Really? It's looking like things are going okay here. Let's see. Let me check. Looks like everything's going okay here, so we're going to move on. We're going to move on. Really? Well, I don't know. Maybe there are internet gremlins today. I have no idea. Let me check with somebody here. Give me 1 second. Okay. Just asking a question. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Whoop. Did you hear that? I sent Claus Man a text, and he obviously left his iPad up here in the studio because it's telling me that I sent him a text. It's funny. That's funny. Hi, Judith. Oh, Linda says, no, not really. She fell asleep in bed watching from her laptop. Okay. Okay. Linda. I'll tell you, that Linda, we have to watch her like a hawk. We have to watch her like a hawk. All right, so that's all the kind of businessy kind of stuff. If you have any questions, please put them in caps in the chat, because that is, that's how it alerts me that there's a question, okay? So thanks. All right, I got happy mail today. And so I want to show that to you. I don't think she's here. Hi, Barbara Bryant. Barbara, you survived Hurricane Matthew, and so now you're ready for creativity. Looks good from LACA. Okay, thanks, Race. Nice. I appreciate that. All right, so got happy mail. In the, hi, Mika. In the description box below the video, you're going to see a website there, and a person's name. Her name, she's never been in the chat that I know of. You've seen her sister here. Her sister is Jerry Bellini, and she is known as, Jerry is known as My Arts and Parts, and Jerry has a YouTube channel with lots of fun videos on there. Well, Jerry's sister, Lorraine, and if I say her name wrong, I apologize. I believe it's Centennial. And Lorraine sent me some wonderful happy mail. And so I thought that I would share that with you, because it's luscious, people. And she has a brand new YouTube channel, and I listed that in the description box below my video, because you guys need to go and watch. If she never puts up another video, you need to go watch the one she has there. I think she has like 4, and you need to go watch them. I'm telling you, you really do. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to show it to you. So this is all done by Lorraine Centennial, I think is how she pronounces her name, I think. But I want you to see what she did, okay? So she sent me this lovely, well, first of all, she sent me this folder of goodness. And inside this folder of goodness are some of the papers that she did created on her channel. So this was the folder, and I'm going to just put this on here so you can see it. Let's do it this way. You can see it better this way. Okay, so these are papers created by Lorraine, and they are lovely. And Lorraine, if you happen to see this video, I want you to know how much I love what you sent and how beautiful these are. They were great to watch on video, but they are perfect. They are lovely to see in person. I'm telling you, they're so much more amazing in person. All right. So here's the deal. This, I don't know if you can see through this. You can see the translucency. This is done on waxed paper. Okay, not deli paper, waxed paper from like your kitchen, wax paper. Yeah, wax paper. So this is the back side. This does not have paint on it. Folder makes more sense. Yes, Miss Allie, it does. It's a folder of goodness. But look at this. So I want you guys to go and watch her videos. Don't go watch them right now. But subscribe to her channel in case she does more videos. So this is also wax paper. Okay? So she shows how she does these techniques and she leaves areas. What I'm trying to show you is that not every single area is covered in paint. Okay? And she does that so that when she layers up the art, the various papers and things, you get this play of color coming through with the transparent and translucent quality. Okay, so here's another one. Now this one is thicker, and I don't know if this is, I've been trying to figure this out, and I'm not sure if this is 2 pieces of wax paper that she's put together or what. This is a thicker paper. I'll have to go back and watch the video again myself. But they are, and see, she's got a chunk that she used for something else, which I love that. And she does a lot of, she works with a brayer, she works with scratching and all that kinds of stuff. Now, this is cellophane. This is just plain old cellophane, okay? See that? Cellophane. And she's made these, I think these are stamps. I'm pretty sure these are stamps that she created, if my memory serves me right. This is cellophane that she stamped on. And just, okay, take a look at this. If you take pieces of the cellophane and you layer it on top of that painted wax paper, do you see how cool that is? Because you get to see it coming through the stamped areas as well as through the clear areas. Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Okay, here's another one that is wax paper. This one has more areas, a few more areas in it that are left with nothing and, you know, no paint. But you already get a translucent quality just because of the wax paper, which is very cool. And then this one, take a look at that. This is metallic and black. Ah, hi, Shoe. I know. Look at that. Turn it this way. Look at that. Ah, I'm telling you. And this appears to be wax paper as well. I'm pretty sure that's what that was. But this was a little bigger. And she does this in great big pieces. So she does really big pieces of this stuff. And then she, it's been a while since I watched her videos. If memory serves me right, then she uses like skirt hangers with clips on them and hangs them all up in her studio. So not only do they not get wrinkled up, but they also provide this amazing amount of inspiration just to see them. Yeah. It's not plastic wrap. It's not plastic wrap. It's not cellophane like that. This is cellophane like you would get, like this is cellophane like they would wrap a gift basket in. You know, it's that plastic cellophane. It's not cellophane like saran wrap. Okay? Yeah. Hi, Nairi. South Australia. Oh my goodness. I hope you did not set your alarm to get up for me. But if you did, bless your heart. Oh my goodness. Welcome. Ah, the metallic. Incredible, isn't it? Incredible. Yeah, I'm telling you. So this is a card she made and sent to me. I'm going to show you this up close because I want you to be able to see this. Okay, so this is the card that she made using some of the things that I just showed you. So Miriam says she also does that. She hangs her art as she does it. That's great. That's great. And Nairi, thank you for telling me how to pronounce your name too. I appreciate it. I really do. And so there's her signature. Okay, now I'm going to tip this because what I want you to see is the dimension that she has gotten right here on this focal point. I'm assuming that this is fabric and fibers and things put together. But there you go. Can you see that? Amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Miriam says that sometimes it's inspirational and sometimes she ends up with her hair colored. I'm going to say that's hair. Yes, Barbara, that cellophane, this is a little lighter weight than this is a little bit lighter in weight than the stuff from Stencils, but it's very similar to that. Yeah, very similar. But isn't that beautiful? Hi, Joyce. Hi, Kat. So I just wanted to show you that. And then she wrote me a very sweet note And I love that she wrote it in pencil. I think that is fun. All right, so I'm going to stay here because I'm going to show you. And she wrote me a thank you on the cover, which was very nice. Then she sent me, she does a line of cards, and so this is the card that she did. And this is a bunch of layered up pieces, so I'm going to take it out of the bag so you can see it. But this, she does cards and other kinds of artwork that she has, I believe she has available for sale on her website. This is done on, the background is watercolor paper, I'm pretty sure. It's textured, and I think that's watercolor paper. And this is layered up with some of her various papers and some other things. My husband said that this in the background is from a sanding, some kind of a sanding belt or something. That's what it looked like to him. She doesn't say what it is, but that's what it looked like to him, and I sure don't know. But that's a blank card. But isn't that cool? So she sent me one of those. Her cards are wonderful. And so I have that. And then she sent me this, which goes this way, I believe. And this is, well, sorry, about blinded you. Didn't mean to do that. This, I believe, is her business card. And it's laminated, hence the very high reflectivity. Thanks, Joyce. Is Kat here? I thought somebody said she was here. Now, Jessica, it doesn't look like the drywall tape, but I mean, it's very similar, but I don't think that's, I'm not sure that's what it is, but it could be. Could be. And then on the back, she has her information, and like I said, her website is artisticfaith.com. And you'll see that in the description box below the video. So again, Lorraine, thank you so much for the lovely mail. That was a big surprise, and it was beautiful. So thank you so much. Okay, Kat. Keep an eye on the storm. Okay, well, we will all be thinking about you, definitely. If you have a chance, let me know at some point how things are going. You know how to get a hold of me. Okay, so from there, I wanted to give you a run through of the cards that I did last week, and show you some, because I did a bunch of them and thought I'd show them to you. These were all done last week using the Needed magazine papers, and so I thought, well, I'll just run through them real quick and show them to you how they came out when they were all finished, because I did a bunch of them. So if you want to know how these are done, all you need to do is to go back and look at the stream from last week, and you'll be able to see how we did them. So all made from magazine papers that were needed, and it changes the texture of the paper, breaks down the fibers and so forth, but I wanted you to see how they came out. I did some pen work. This one I used a sewing machine, and I just stitched around to create a border with no thread in the sewing machine. So if you want, something different, you can do that. I know, good happy mail's right. And here is a kitty cat, because that looked like Chance to me. This is a stamp, and that's from the same stamp set. It was something I got at Tuesday morning one time. This is just something I made up. And another one. Some of these we did on stream. Some of these I did before or after. But all of them are done with that Needed magazine technique from the book that's in the description box from last week. You like the cat? I couldn't resist. And if you want to see close-ups of these, you can go to the blog on HowToGetCreative.com. You'll see it. It's the first post that should show up for you, and you can click on that, and you'll be able to expand the pictures, and because I photographed each of these so you can see what each of them, what they look like for real, as we say. All right, so that is Happy Mail and a review of last week. So let me put the Happy Mail away here real quick so that I don't scum it up, because these are too nice to scum up. They're almost too nice for me to use. Hi, Mar Magoo. Thank you, Sue liked what we had going on there. So I'm just going to put the Happy Mail away as she drops it on the floor, but I know where it is. And we put the cards away, out of harm's way here. Okay, so we got that done. So any questions from anybody so far? Thanks, Ruth. Thank you. I'm glad you all liked them. They were fun. Had another project I was going to do with the kneaded papers today, and you know, some days you're just not feeling it. So when you're just not feeling it, then you just gotta move on to what you are feeling. So that's what we're doing. All right, so I'm going to show you this thing. I know many of you have seen this a number of times. Let's see if I can get this so you can actually see what it is. It's a little hard to show. So I'm trying to get, okay, I think you can see it now. Hi, Deborah. This is what I use for storing little stencils. So this box and everything that I'm showing you today, for the most part, I've put links in the description box below the video. If you want more information, you can click on a link and go take a look. As far as pricing or any of that kind of stuff, and so you can see it. Anyway, this is called an Iris greeting card box, and I saw somebody else use one of these, and so I went looking for one, found one, and I thought, well, this will be pretty cool. So this is my stencil storage for small stencils, right? And so I'm going to just take the lid off. You can take it completely off easily, which sometimes is maddening, but other times works really well. And it has these little, pardon the bad camera work, but I want to show you this. This has these little dividers. There's plastic dividers. Hopefully you can see them right there. See those plastic dividers? And those dividers are great to keep the stencils from you know, turning into one big mushy mess and all falling down in the bottom of the box. The maddening part about them is that they don't like to stay in their little slots. There's little slots in here for each one of them, and they don't like to stay in there. They like to come out. Yeah, I only store the small stencils in here. The big stencils I have in a different system. And look whose stencils happen to be in here, Miss Pavla. Yeah, look whose stencils happen to be in here. Uh-huh. And I even know where they are. Yes, I do. Pavla, I'm going to tell you, I don't know if this one has the one in it. It may be with my other Happy Mail. Let me look a moment. I think these might just be all of the, yeah, I kept the other one someplace else. These are all of her. Pavla cut these for me. Let me see if I can. You can get a little bit of an idea. Celtic, I think these are all Celtic patterns. She cut these and sent these to me from the Czech Republic. Take a look at these. She did a whole bunch of these that she cut by hand with a craft knife. I think, I don't know if I'm correct about this, but I think most of these she did with an electronic cutter. She can tell you for sure. The knife stencil, yes. there are people in this world who are smart alecks. Pavla has a wonderful sense of humor. And, you know, I'm always giving her a hard time. She streams once in a while. And I'm always giving her a hard time about her craft knife because she can't find the cover for it and so forth, right? And so I will give her a hard time about, you know, I've seen people just do some serious damage to themselves with craft knives and rotary cutters. So I'm always giving her a hard time. So don't you know that she cut me a stencil with a craft knife? Yes. She cut me a stencil with a craft knife. It's over in I have a whole section that's just, you know, kind of happy mail stuff that I don't want to get separated. I want things to stay together, and it's over there in that. But anyway, yeah. Thanks, Pavla. So anyway, there's Pavla's stencils. Keep them in the package inside here. So anyway, back to these dividers in here. They come out. So there's two problems with this box. That's one, that the dividers want to come out. So I've tried a temporary fix, hopefully maybe semi-permanent fix. I have taken Crafter's Pick glue and I have glued them in. So we're going to find out. And you can probably see the white spots in here where the glue has not completely dried yet. So we're going to find out whether that works. The other issue with these is that when you want to get them out, and this is why I was constantly knocking the dividers out of whack, I'd come in here to get them and I couldn't. It's very hard because the box is deep to get the stuff out that you want to work with. All right, so what I decided to do, this is a long-winded explanation to lead up to what we're doing here. I decided to use, these are manila file folders. Okay, so these are just plain old file folders. And the ones that I used are ones that were all gunked up and, you know, had stuff written on them. And some of them are kind of cruddy and all that kind of stuff. I cut them down. I'm going to show you what I did here in a minute. But I cut them down so that they would fit inside these little sections. And I'm going to put them in here like this, and I'm going to drop them inside my little stencil box. Then when I want to use something from that section, I can just get a hold of it and pull it out. And it's a whole lot easier to do that than it is to try to dig through this box of stencils. Okay? So there you go. That is how this came to be. Alright, so I'm going to just stick these back in here. I'm going to set this off because we're done talking about this for the moment. If you're interested in what that box is, if that looks at all interesting to you, you can find a link for it in the description below the broadcast window. Alright, so there's 6 sections in there. So what I did is I took one of those big file folders. So this is how big it is to start with. Okay, so it's this big. I'm not going to tell you the measurements because they come different measurements in different countries. And I cut it down. And the measurements I cut it down to, first of all I did the length. And I cut the length to 9 5/8 inches. Okay, so I cut it 9 5/8 inches. For the length. And then there is, on the file folders, there is usually there are 3 score lines. If I can show these to you. Alright, see those score lines right there? There's 3 of them. So the folder will come folded on one of them. And then you can just open it up and fold it again. So then you have depth to put thick stuff in your folder. Alright, like so, like that. Okay, so what I did was from each one of those outer score lines, I cut it 5 7/8 inches. Okay, so there's or there's four. 1, 2, 3. There's 4 score lines. Sorry, 4 score lines. So from the outer 2, I cut 5 7/8 inches. So I did that to all of them. So I cut them all down. So that's what I've got here. All right, so I have them all cut down. They're all folded. And then if I open them up, they'll have the depth. So that's what I have. But these are kind of ugly. So why not glam them up a little bit? You know what I mean? So let's do that. Oh, and then you have a nice big piece on one side of the folders that will come off, that you cut off. And so from the wider section, I cut tags, and these tags are about 3 1/8 inches by 6 1/4. I just used a tag, one I purchased to get the dimension, and I also used it to cut the angled corners. They used to, I don't know if they still do, but they used to have a corner punch or corner chomper that would do that. I don't have that. And then I punched a hole, and then I also, I don't know if you can see. Let's see if I can show you here. Move over, camera. What I'm trying to show you, there we go. Can you see the light reflecting? That is, those are those little reinforcing hole, whatever they're called. They reinforce holes. And so I put those on there. Hi, Miss L. So I put those on there. Yeah, my measurements are in inches. Yes, they're in inches, Ian. So I put them on each side. I'm catching the reflection because they're clear. And I just did that because that's how most of the tags are done. Okay. So I got 6 folders and 6 tags. You can see some of these are kind of scummy, but I got 6 tags out of it. And then there are little pieces of the tag, or the manila file folder stuff. You could cut small tags and stuff. I'm not going to do that, but yeah. Anyway, there you go. Okay, so that's how I got where I am. Now I'm going to use paste paint, and to do that this is an ice cube tray because that works really well, and I have mixed some of these up already. In order to do the paint technique with art paste, you need art paste. So this is what the art paste is. This is by Elmer's. It's paper mache art paste. It's not expensive to buy here anyway. And you get it comes in a little plastic bag full of art paste. Okay, it comes like that. And I mix it in a gallon of distilled water. So that's what I have here. Okay, so that's what's in my jug of stuff. And I folded down the box and tape it so I know that this is not just water. It thickens the water. Hopefully you can see that. And then I write on it what it is and when I created it. So you can see this has been around for a while. 4 of 15. This has been around for a while. If you use distilled water, it lasts a long time. So I recommend that totally. So once it's mixed up, you have to let it sit for a few minutes, and then you can start mixing it up with your paint. All right, so that's what we have here. So I'm going to put some. Oh, hi, Iffy. Okay. You people, when you change your names, mess me up. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up this ice cube container. I do about, maybe half the depth of these ice cube trays. You can do this in little cups also. I find it easier to do it in this because it has a flat bottom. Actually, somebody sent me this one, because at one point I was using a styrofoam egg carton to mix my paints in, and it sprung a leak, and then I had paint everywhere. And so she felt sorry for me and went to the dollar store and bought me one of these and sent it to me instead of just telling me, go to the dollar store and buy one of these. All right, so these containers are about half full of the mixed up art paste. Okay, and then you can use whatever kind of paint you want. I'm just using craft paints. So I just have various colors of craft paints. Now in here, over here at this end, this is impossible to see, but this is a glitter paint, and so is that one. Okay, those are glitter paints. These two are metallics. Metallics work really well for this. The glitter paints I'm using are extreme glitter, and that's what these are. So this one is this one, and that one is that one. Okay, so these are extreme glitter in gold and red. The metallic colors that I'm using are Folk Art Metallic Aquamarine and Dazzling Metallics Glorious Gold. So those are those two. The rest of these are just plain old craft paints in various colors. Is it like gum? No, it's not gum arabic. It's more paper mache. It's more of a paper mache stuff. That's what it was really intended for. So it's not gum arabic at all. Okay, so I'm just shaking up the paints, and I put in maybe a third to a half. This is not an exact science. A third to a half, squirt it in, mix it up. If you want more specific information about the stuff, please go search on the YouTube channel for Paste Paper Pizzazz. There's two of them, Paste Paper Pizzazz, and there's another one that I did that goes into more detail. Okay, then I just mix it up with a craft stick, and then I'm going to add the rest of these colors to this and mix them up. No exact science. If I don't think the color looks right, I'll put in more, or I'll add more art paste to it. The more opaque the color is, the more art paste, mixed up art paste you want. And I call this making paste paints. Okay, and it mixes up pretty quickly. You can actually even use tube paints to do this. It's just pretty much whatever you want to use. The person that I learned about doing the paste paper technique from, she even used some old the paint was stuff that you used to do on embroidery, on fabric. It was called liquid embroidery or something like that. And somebody gave her a whole bunch of those paints, and so she used them, and they worked fine too. So it was old cruddy paint that was intended for some totally other, some completely other use, and it worked great. You can use wallpaper paste. The thing with wallpaper paste, and I have done it with wallpaper paste, I've also done it with starch, and you'll see that in those sample video classes that are here on YouTube. The wallpaper paste, for whatever reason, they give you a warning, so there's some kind of chemical in it. I had no problem with it, but there was some kind of chemical in it that there was some kind of warning about using wallpaper paste. I didn't find that it had a problem whatsoever. This is really cheap here, and so that's why I tend to use it, and it comes in small quantities. I don't have to buy a big thing. So, okay. And then I'm going to put some of this. So these are various brands of craft paint. And honestly, I never mix up this many colors, but I thought, hey, what the heck, we'll do it. We'll mix up a whole bunch of colors and we'll just go for it. So I just mix them all up. And then if I try them and I think that the color needs to be adjusted, it's not thick enough or it's too thick, I'll add more paint or more paste to it. Alright, so I'm going to set this off to the side. Well, the reason I use the ice cube tray is that it doesn't tend to spill. Where little cups tend to spill. I will knock them over. I like using foam brushes. Okay, so I like using foam brushes. And then you need texture tools of some kind. And the ones I'm going to work with today, you can use all different kinds of texture tools. But these are the kind of the go-to tools that I use. So I've got, this is a Catalyst Wedge. These are Martha Stewart tools. This is a, wood grain tool. Digging for another one. Hold on just a second. It comes with the handle like this. Okay. Once it's mixed, how long does it last if you don't use it all? It lasts for a while, but I would use it within a couple days. Yeah, I would use it within a couple days. Honestly, I work with it until it's gone. That's just how I work with it. So this wood graining tool comes with a couple of different sizes. Since the handles on this one will do that. And then Ranger has this set of texture tools, which are kind of fun to play with. They come, I think they come on the ring. I'm not sure. Or maybe I put the ring on it. I don't know. They come with a hole in them. I know that. And they just have different patterns of texture that you can use for different purposes. And there are 6 of them in this set. And I think there's another set, but I've forgotten. Okay? All right. So those are the tools that I'm going to use here. And I forgot that it's really helpful to use some plastic. This is a plastic tablecloth. I'm going to put this on the floor. So I'm going to take just a second to get it spread out because I forgot to do that ahead of time. I'm going to put this on the floor so that I have some place to lay the pieces as I work on them, because it's a layering process. Okay, so it's layering and layering and layering. So I need some place to let them dry because the layers need to dry between applications of paint. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you guys. If you have questions, put them in the chat in caps. Angie says she bought a gallon of liquid starch for less than $5. Wow, that's that's quite a deal. Okay, let me get this ready. But it really helps. You need, it's like jelly plate printing in that you need a lot of space. So that's why I have this big old plastic, El Cheapo plastic tablecloth that I got someplace. And if that's not big enough, I have another big piece of plastic that I stretch out on the floor. Can you use powdered starch? I don't know because I've never used it. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I would imagine it might work, but I don't. I have no experience with that. Okay. So to warm up, we're going to do some tags. So I'm going to put my prepared paint up here. Let's see if I can get rearranged so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I think you can kind of see what's what. I think we got it. I think we got it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, and I usually try to take a foam brush per color. It doesn't always work that way, but I try. I start out with really good intentions. It doesn't always work. And I'm just going to pick a color. I'm going to warm up on these because it always takes a little bit to get your rhythm of doing paste, working with the paste paints. So I'm just going to pick a color. I'm going to start with a metallic for no particular reason. And I'm going to just put it on. Just going to put it on my tag. Your hands are going to get messy. If you don't like being messy, this is not the technique for you, okay? And then I'm going to use one of my texture tools, and I'm going to draw in the wet paste paint. Alright, now this is just manila file folder material. You can see it there. The reason for the paste thickens the paint. It also makes it more transparent, translucent, whatever, and it will hold the designs that you put in it. Alright? Alright, so there we go. So I'm going to just set these off to the side on the floor, and we'll slap some paint on the rest of these. And so I'm just seeing if I can pick some colors that might show up. And this paint goes a long way. Okay, goes a long way. So when you mix it up, don't mix up tremendous quantities of it, because if you do, it's gonna take you a while to use it up. Let's just say that. Okay, so I'm not going to show you close-ups of every single one, or we'll be here all day. And then what I'm doing is just setting them off to the side on the floor and letting that coat dry. Now, you don't have to use just one color. And the handles of the brushes are usually what get me in trouble, because I leave the brushes in the paint and then I'll knock one out and paint my table or what have you, and you know, that can be problematic. Okay, so you see all this paint right here. I shouldn't have that great big glop of paint. It's better if it's an even coat. So I'm just going to kind of dab that a little bit, see if I can soak that up. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because there's going to be other coats of paint that'll go on top of it. Okay? And then you kind of, if you care about what's going on, clean up your table as you go. If you don't worry about it. Alright, so from there, now I've told you everything I know about doing paste paper. And these glitter paints are in a pretty transparent base, and so it takes a while for them to show up, but they're pretty fun, and when it dries you'll be able to see it more. So I usually keep a rag handy so I can just kind of clean up as I go. And you want kind of an even coat. You do want an even coat. It's not kind of an even coat. You do want an even coat of the paste paint as you work. Now I show you a different technique for doing this when you look at the classes that are the sample video classes here on YouTube, you'll see a little different technique using spray inks to start with. I'm not doing that on these. I could have, but I'm not. For these, we're just doing it strictly with the paint. So you can do all one color, or you can do multiple colors. Totally depends on what you want to do. Doesn't matter. But it is good to warm up when you're doing this stuff. And the faster you work, the better it is. And if you don't like what you did, you know, if you really don't like it, you can take your brush and you can brush back over it. As long as it's not not dry, you can brush back over it, and then you can pattern it again. Okay? Hey Jerry, I was talking about you earlier. I showed the Happy Mail from your sister. It's wonderful. Please tell her I said thank you, thank you, thank you. I showed it, and it's lovely. So much better in person, of course. Just was such a fun surprise. Loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. So everybody's going to go over there and subscribe to her channel. And they should subscribe to yours as well. Okay, so there we go. There's that one. Alright, so that's everything of the tags. It kind of gives me, gets me going a little bit. So those need to dry a little bit more before we put another coat on them. So I'm going to, now I have the idea. I'm going to move the paint out of the way so we can get the folder in the picture. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start putting paint on here. Now this is big. It's much, much bigger, as you can tell, than those little tags. So you're going to have to work quicker. Okay, got to work quicker. Because once this starts to dry, you can't pattern it. So we're going to see if I can get paint on the entire thing and pattern it. Once the pattern or the paint is there, and you will know immediately whether it's going to work or not, because if it doesn't leave anything in here, okay, this was too dry. It didn't leave any pattern in the paint, so I'm just going to stick some more paint on. Alright, there we go. So hopefully you can see the pattern in there. It's very light, I understand that. So we're going to set it down, go to a next one. So for this, since it's such a big area, maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the paint down, the paste paint, put it down, and then pattern, and then put down some more paint. Let's see, what color do I want to use? Maybe. And the paintbrushes start to become problematic because you've got handles sticking up everywhere. And I'm going to move the paint to my side because I think it might work for me better. And again, because the pieces are big, I'm going to pattern it in sections as I go. That's how I've decided I'm going to do it. You have to just feel your way through all of it. Figure it out as you go. After this paper gets sealed up with one coat of paint, it should work better for me. We'll find out. We will find out. Some people do really specific and very, make their patterns very specific and beautiful and methodical and so forth. I tend to just go for it. And what happens happens. And all of these are just various incarnations of craft paint. Not the same brand, not the same anything. Some of them are glitter, some of them are metallic, some of them are just plain flat craft paint. Alright, let's use one of these scraper tools here. And this is one of the glitter paints that I accidentally dunked into the metallic paint beside it, so it's got a combo platter of colors going on. I think the looser you are with this, the better they turn out. Yeah, exactly, Ruth. If you don't like it, put on another layer. Exactly. It's very similar to the jelly plate printing process, but it's different. It's similar, but different. How do you like that? Similar, but different. So see, this has got, you know, writing on it and stuff. By the time I get done, most of that's going to go away. And if it doesn't, who cares? Who cares? Again, you want to have a more even coat of paint than what I just put on there, because otherwise it'll take forever and a day for it to dry. So that's why I say you have to warm up. And even though I warmed up, I still, you know, I'm still getting used to how much paint it takes. It's a lot like the jelly plate in that you have to get used to what it, you know, how much paint it takes and all of that. And are you going to make brown sometimes? Yep, you definitely are. Alright, now I've got a little corner up here in the upper part of this. We're just going to put a little paint on it. I do not care what color things are, clearly. And then I'll set it aside. I do have a fan blowing. I'm setting them off on the floor, and I do have a fan blowing. Now, it's easy to cause yourself a problem because the fan might be doing a good thing, and then it may pick up, as they dry, it may pick up your work and flip it across the room. So, yeah, kind of there's a fine line there between, oh, the fan is a great idea with the fan, you know, being a real problem. So, okay, so let's see. And the fan is also drying out what I'm doing up here, and that means that it may cause me some problems as I work up here on my work surface. Okay, see that? Okay, so let's come down here and we'll put some purple. And I just went through my stash of paint and I just pulled out a bunch of colors that I thought, oh, this would be kind of fun to work with. There's no rhyme or reason to the colors I picked out. So, as I said, if you want to get really persnickety about the patterns that you create, you can do that. You can do very ordered patterns and you can do all kinds of stuff. I don't. I just go for it. Okay, got a couple more to do and we'll see if we can get, hopefully the first ones will be dry enough that we can add. Hey Deborah, hi Josie, hi Dorothy. What was I saying? Hopefully they will be dry enough that we can add the next layer of color. So this is what happens if you have a dirty brush. You get multiple colors. But if you were here in person, you would see that I'm working very quickly. And that is because, and that one's not going to work for me. The ones that work the best are the tools that have the square tips. The pointy tips don't work very well because it doesn't move enough of the paint. Alright, what color do we want here? Let's do whatever this is. Fluorescent orange. Fluorescent orange. Sometimes you'll do color combinations where you go, oh, that's great. And then sometimes you get one and you go, what in the world was I thinking about there? So you just slap another coat of paint on it. And the colors will change as they dry. That is one thing I have found. Because some of them I think, oh, that's the ugliest thing I ever did. So when you use a striping tool, you rock it as you go, okay? And that's how you get the striping, the wood grain effect. Let me see if I can show you this part on a close-up. I don't know whether it'll show up on this layer or not. No, you're not going to be able to see it. That's okay. That's okay. It'll show up on a darker color. We'll do it again on a darker color. But that's how you make those, the wood grain tool work. You rock it as you pull it. The colors change, as I started to say. And when the color changes, some of them that you think that's the ugliest thing I have ever done in my life, you suddenly go, ooh, I don't know what happened to that, but it got definitely better. Well, it's because it dried. And I'm looking for a tool to go as quickly as possible. Okay, so you can get plaids. Do I have silicone tip shapers that you can use and draw with? Yes, I do. Well, they're not silicone. They're not silicone. The ones that I have, are they silicone? I have the style sticks. That's what I have, but I didn't get them out today. But you can certainly use those, yeah. Or you can use the tools that you use to mark into clay. Those work well too. And you can draw, and you can write words, and you can do all kinds of things. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to set that aside. Okay, so we're going to come back to the tags now. So they will kind of curl up on you. And you can paint the other sides if you want to, or you can just sort of manhandle them into submission. I find that what I have to do is put them later, when I'm all finished, I put them under heavy books and encourage them to dry flat. And then I also can iron them, and I show that in the video class, the sample video classes that are here on YouTube. I believe I show that on one of those. Okay, so here's the first layer. I'll show you these up close. Okay, so here is the first layer. This is metallic, so you can see it reflecting. Okay. So you can just see what these look like on this first step. Yeah, you use the comb. Deb Boring says that she uses a comb thingy that comes with hair dye. Yep, that works great too. You can also take, you can buy these rubber scrapers. You know, this usually has a wooden end on it, a wooden handle. And these are silicone, and you can cut your own designs into those. Or you can use this as a scraper, but you can cut designs into that. So anything that will make a design, but things that work better are the things that have flat ends on them and not pointy ends on them. Okay. So I know that they're flashing out because this is very light, but it gives you, kind of gives you an idea. All right, so let's just start with this one. And I just kind of wiggle them back and forth, you know, to encourage the paper to get flat. Yeah, Debbie says she uses that same tool with her jelly plate. Yep, great idea. Okay, so I'm going to go with a different color, contrasting color. Now, you've got a coat of paint down there, which is probably going to be sealing that raw paper a little bit better. So I'm going to attempt to have an even coat of paint. And then I'm going, let's see if we can get this to work here so you can see. You kind of get the idea. However, I don't like it. So this is what you do when you don't like it. Take it out. Okay, get rid of it if you don't like it. And then just come back with a different tool. And give it some more texture, okay? Now, the trick here is, because these are little, you don't want to stick your hand in it, but do you see how cool that is? You like that? So you see what's coming up here is the yellow and also some of the manila color, because the first layer this had was a yellow. And so you see some of that coming up. Set it aside, let it dry. And I always put at least 2 layers of paint on what I'm doing. Sometimes I do more than 2. Alright, let's go with green on this one. And you can do multiple colors in this layer, of course. We'll put a little bit of dark blue here. And you can blend that in if you want or not. Okay, so there's that one. Don't stress out over what's going on. Just put them down and keep on trucking. And if I've got paint on my hands, I may leave fingerprints from other colors on them, and I just keep on trucking. I don't care. All right, there's that one. And this, let me see if I don't know if I can show this to you or not. This is where the glitter paint is. You can kind of see it there now. Up here. Anyway, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's there. All right, let's use another coat of the glitter paint. This is the red one. This is a bad foam brush. Just saying. See how floppy it is? That's a bad foam brush. Old. You want the short ones. You want the shorter ones like this. Not the long ones like that. They're too floppy. Okay, let's see what happens. Good enough. Okay, so when that dries, we should get glitter, more glitter on that one. And that is as much glitter as Barb likes to use. It's contained in something else. Yep, it's contained in something else. That's why I like it. Okay, let's go with some gold on this one. And maybe some metallic aquamarine. And I tried to draw different patterns from what was on there to begin with. Because when you do that, you're going to get those other patterns showing through. Okay, for example, let's go with this one. Okay, so there's that one. Are you guys liking this? I hope you enjoy doing this. If not, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying having this drama-free thing happening here. Alright, I'm going to let that one dry the way it is. We'll do something else to it later. And we have one more tag. And let's go with some fluorescent pink. If you end up with a lot of this paint left over, if you mixed up way too much, I would dump it outside, dump the bulk of it outside somewhere, and then wash out your container. I would not dump a lot of this down your drain. Alright, I gotta switch to a clean paper towel here. I'll tell you, the boys, the sponsors were crazy today. Ruth is a paste paperholic. That doesn't surprise me, Ruth. Let's see if I can find another. The more you scrape off in this layer, the more you see whatever was underneath. Stands to reason, but I know sometimes Captain Obvious has to point it out. Okay, we have all the tags done. So let's go back to one of the folders now. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Sherry. Hope he feels better soon. Hi, Kristen. Welcome. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Patricia. Good, I'm glad you like it. Okay, the paper's pretty wrinkly. I don't worry about that until way later. Just don't worry about that. Okay, let's go with a contrasty color so you can really see. I have to say that the first time or two I did this, I was a little scared of it. I don't know why. The more you can let loose, the better your results are going to be. Kind of like jelly plate printing. If you try to control the outcome of jelly plate printing, I find that most people just get so frustrated. Alright, let's go and we'll put some red on this side. See what happens. I am finding that on the bigger area that you have to work a lot faster. Now, most of the time I work on 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper, which is not that much smaller than this. But it is a little bit, and the cardstock is different. And I'm finding that by comparison, that is easier to work on than what this is. But the whole purpose of this is just to make these file folders that I'm going to use for stencil storage look a little bit better. So that's the whole purpose. So I'm trying to set these off in some kind of order, so I pick up the ones that are the most dry. This might or might not be one. But we're not going to worry about it. We're just going for it. Okay, we're going to put some fluorescent pink on this and see what happens. So you got to get enough paint, the paste paint, on here so that you have something to work with, but you can't have so much that it globs up. I know, it's a Goldilocks thing, which I love to say because it's just so true about so many things. You know, it takes a while to get that right feel of what is the proper amount of something. You know, every jelly plate, if you have more than one size or shape of jelly plate, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Because every jelly plate that you use, if you're working on the 12 by 14 jelly plate and then you switch and use the 3-inch circle jelly plate, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Because it takes a while to get the amount of paint that those plates require. Same thing on this. Same exact thing. So the amount of paint on the tag is different than the amount of paint on this. And it's sort of, you know, it's a duh moment. You go, duh, Barb, of course. Well, you know. Hello, Captain Obvious. Okay, so you kind of got the idea. I'm switching back and forth between tools, and as this dries, you're going to be able to see the colors coming up and the patterns from the background. So anybody have any questions at the moment? Since we're just kind of... now I will tell you, this is the one with glitter on it. The glitter paint. This was the red glitter paint. And it definitely has a texture. The glitter does give it texture. So you don't have the smoothness that you have on the regular craft paints. I'm as bad as Cat at wiping up constantly. No, nobody's as bad as Cat. No siree. You can't tell me that. Cat is the all-time champ when it comes to wiping stuff up. If I don't wipe up as I go on this, we're going to have a big major mess. And my poor old craft mat that's under here is never going to be the same anyway. Nobody's as bad as Cat Hand when it comes to cleaning up. Cat is the queen of cleaning up. And if she's still here, she would admit it, I think. This one, I don't know that you can tell that on the camera. Let's see if I can get it here. Oh, there you can see it. Look, see how cool that is? You cannot see that on the other camera, but how cool is that? Ah, that is luscious. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's yummy. Jessica says she used a pile of folders for practicing texture paste. Ah, that's great. File folders are a good substrate because you don't have to worry about them. You don't have to care what they do, you know? You just have fun with them. You can't hate this, people. You just can't hate it. It's too much. First of all, you're having fun. Second of all, you know, I'm going to end up with something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, because every time I can't get my folders out of that stencil storage box, it just irritates the life out of me. I will use them far more because of this. Yes, yes. Okay, let's go this way. So I try to contrast not only the color, but I try to contrast the pattern in each alternating layer. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one alone. So I'm going to let the glitter come up from the bottom and just have those strong stripes. That's a good one. This one right here, people, this one right here is a good one. Yes. See, it takes you a while. It is exactly like jelly print plating. It takes you yes. Jelly plate printing. It takes a while to get your rhythm going. Okay, let's see how they dry. They're all curled up and stuff. You just kind of have to work with them. And if you want to go back and do the insides, which I probably will later. Okay, let's go with this one. Let's contrast this with something. So this is the metallic aquamarine. I think this is the folk art color. I do love metallics used on these. They are so yummy when you do paste papers. And like jelly plate printing, I just sit down and do, when I'm in the mood, I just do a whole ton of paste papers, and then I use them in all kinds of things. And you'll see me, if you hang around me very long, you will see me use paste papers many, many, many times. And every time I say I use them, somebody says, "What's paste paper?" And so now you get to see. Okay, so there's that one. All right, let's turn it around and we'll do something on the other side. And let's go with combo platter of pink. Some of this is fluorescent, some of this is, I don't know what color pink that is, petal pink. Again, kind of smooth out the gloppy paint. If you got some on here that's kind of gloppy looking, kind of smooth that out. And then just go for it. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? You don't have to do every square inch. You can do some alternating patterns, and then you can even go and you can make some plaid patterns. I'm telling you, you have to like that. You have to like that. If you don't like that, there's something wrong. Hi, Suzanne. I don't know if you can get it at Joann's, or I've never seen it at Joann's. I used to be able to buy it at Michael's. I don't know whether you can or not. You'll have to just check and see. Yeah. Okay, let's go with purple, huh? But I do find on a piece this big, and part of it may be just simply the paper that the file folders are made out of, I can't do the whole thing all at once and then texture it because I can't get, the paint starts drying too fast. And then, of course, you can get in here and use your finger. That's perfectly legal, too. And then we'll texture something in there on another layer. But because I'm working dry, or wet over dry, the only problem I'm going to run into at all is in here between the purple and the green, which quite honestly doesn't bother me a whole lot. But purple and green could definitely make a brownish color. So I'll do that last. And I'm not after perfection, so, you know, whatever happens, happens. Okay, so there's that one. Hi, Liana. Nice to have you join us. It is very similar to jelly plate printing in that it takes a lot of space, or you have to plan ahead of time where you're going to put your stuff. I knew you'd like that one, Ruth. Ruth is purple girl. Okay, let's go with gold on here and just see what happens. Alright, so we got a layer of gold happening. Alright, let's go to the other side and let's go with, I got this kind of medium blue color. We'll put that on, see what happens. Everything's about seeing what happens. None of it is about perfection. If you like control and perfection, this is not your technique. If you're willing to just see what comes out of the experiment. By the way, wear old clothes because you can flip this really easily, which I just did. Flip it on your shirt. So wear old clothes when you're doing this. And for whatever reason, this color dried quickly on me. So there's not much texture coming there, so I'm going to use a big one to see if I can get any more texture in this. Got a little bit. So see, even though there was this mess of pink where the colors didn't blend together and stuff, and it was over here where there was just this patch, this mess of pink in the middle, do you see how the layers of color building on top of it, it all just keeps going away. It keeps pushing in the background. Have I ever sewn these on the machine? The file folders, I have not sewn the file folders on the machine, but I don't know why you couldn't. Have you done that, Jessica? I'm not repeating that, Ruth. Hi, Janice. Just saw you. Okay, so let's go to green. And maybe we'll add some blue on this side. So we'll go for 2 colors on this one. Just because we can. And I got paint. Okay. And don't you know I missed a little section there, so we'll just put a little more paint there. Alright, so there we've got that. That's kind of a fun one. And you can still see the writing in the background, but it's beginning to fade. I've sewn lots of paper on the sewing machine, but I haven't sewn this particular paper. But I've sewn a lot of paper on the sewing machine, yeah. And I do love that. I do love me some sewing on the sewing machine with paper. And people tend to think that you need a great big huge needle to sew paper on the sewing machine, which you don't. The only reason for using a great big needle on the sewing machine to sew paper is if you are trying to make big holes in it, which I showed earlier today how I had actually done some of that. Where the purpose of sewing was to make holes specifically. So, yeah, you actually want to use the smallest needle that you can. In my opinion, in my experience, I should say. Just in my experience. And that's marginally ugly, so we'll just do it again. Sometimes you do too much. You got to go back and just either let it dry or paint it out. And that's where I should have stopped the first time, and so that's where I'm going to stop this time. All right, let's see if we can get this bit in here. Good enough. All right, so there's that one. And let's see if we can go back to this one now. So we've got 2 layers on everything so far. Oh, nice, Jessica. You're getting an old Singer or a Sears machine. That's wonderful. Good for you. All right, let's do, this one's still a little damp, but you know, hey, we're going for it. See what happens. It's a little wet. You really want the layers to dry between layers, so this may be an epic fail. And if it is, you know, c'est la vie. Alright, I'm going to leave that alone because I like the way it's looking. Let's go to some gold. So this is the 3rd layer of color we got going on here. Okay, so you can do this as many layers of paint as you want. Do as you wish. Okay, so there we got that one. That has 3 layers of 3 different colors and layers of paint on it. Let's play with the tags again. So I'm just gonna, this even has a dog hair stuck in it. Imagine such a thing. In my house to have animal hair stuck in something. Well, I told you guys about the time that my husband got the, I think I showed it on stream one time. He got a machine out of a dumpster, brought it home. He got it out of the dumpster because he was throwing a bunch of stuff away, and there was this intriguing looking, looked like a case. It looked like a sewing machine case, And so he, could just reach it. And so he pulled it out of the dumpster and brought it home and opened it, and it was a machine. And because he repairs sewing machines, it took him about 30 minutes or so. And he had it working, and it's a sweet, sweet little machine. Yeah. So there you go. All right, let's do some glitter paint on this one, see what happens. So the glitter paint does not really change the color, the surface color. It just gives it a little extra something something when it dries. But I love, and I don't know that you can kind of see that. You can't tell what it's going to look like when it dries, but when it every layer that you put on drives the former layers down. It's kind of like going beneath the surface, I have to say, I love that. You can do the same technique on any kind of paper. You can do it on scrapbook paper. You could do it on ugly scrapbook paper is one of my favorite things to transform doing this. Go watch those other YouTube videos that I have. Paste Paper Pizzazz, and I don't know what the other one's called. Ruth, do you know what the other one's called? Ruth will know. She's watched them. And as I said, if you do something you don't like, paint it out. I've done that a couple times for you today. Much better as far as what I like. All right, let's put a layer of this hot neon orange on this and see what happens. You can use Stay Flow starch, yes. You just have to experiment to get your the texture the way you want it. But yeah, the consistency of the paint the way you want it. That one you probably can't see, but in real life that is a very cool look. Let's see if we can show it to you here. You can kind of see that, the different colors coming up. I know one of them is Paste Paper Pizzazz, and I can't remember the name of the other one. Anyway, if you just search, look on the channel here, and you'll find them. It's not hard. Easy peasy, really, I tell you. Okay, let's go with this red. And one of the fun things that happens when you're doing this is the little hole reinforcements, because these were tags that I created. The little hole reinforcements because they were plastic, they take the paint differently, and so you get some interesting effects with the texturizing going on those as well. Alright, what are we going to do to this one? Let's do... I'm going to do contrast of color. I'm going to go with this blue. Oh, I don't like that. Paint it out. Pattern is too small for what I want, so I'm going to go to the big one in order to get more of the color from beneath showing up. Okay. And this one has the glitter on it. This has the red glitter. Let's see if I can show this to you. See the red glitter on it? I think you can see that, yeah. So it's like a transparent base with the red glitter in it. That's what it's like. Yep, Christmas tags are perfect for that. Perfect for that. Absolutely. All right, let's go to... This is metallic. Metallic aquamarine. Okay, we're going to call that one good. And this one, let's go to this color that's sitting here with a great big pile of color because I haven't used it much. It's this yellow. But I'm putting it on with the orange brush, so it's picking up orange and yellow. And I've got way too much paint, so we're going to sweep off some of that. And sop up some of this. Alright, let's see what happens here. Let's do this. Alright, well that color combination is not my favorite in the whole world. It's kind of ugly, but you know, when it dries it may be better, and if not, I'll put another coat of paint on it. Because that's how that works. Because that's how you do that. Alright, we're going to do one more layer of paint on the file folders, then we're going to call it a day. Okay, they really want to curl up at this point. So I'm going to run them along the edge of the table to see if I can reverse the curl. That helped. Alright, let's go with a different color this time. Let's go with... I go with this blue. And maybe some of this pinky color. Pinky lavender kind of color. and maybe let's go with some green. Okay, now up here, right in this area, you don't get much texture. I don't know whether you're seeing it or not, but these long stripes, the big stripes don't carry through. That's because the paint was drier up here. But again, I'm not after everything being perfect. I'm just after effect. But I hope that you can get the idea that the more you play, the more colors you get, the more layers you create, the more interesting it becomes. And in the end, my stencil storage box, should look pretty fabulous. So I'll show it to you next week when I have it all, everything's dried and put back together and all that. I'll show it to you next week. This is one of those things that you can really get in your own zone about, you know. And you can do this on text weight paper, you can do it on dictionary paper, you can do it on newspaper. You know, all you want to do is just think about what papers you have in your life that you could, magazine papers. You just go for it. Kristen wants me to adopt her. It is a fun place to be. But it's a busy place to be, I'll tell you. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in this joint behind the scenes, I'll tell you. Okay, let's do something just totally crazy, and let's put red on. A lot of long hours happen around here, too. But it's a good place. Drama-free studio is a good place to be. Indeed. All right, let's put, oh, sadly, I'm out of purple. What did I do with my paste? paint. Here it is. We have to make up a little bit more purple, folks, because I'm out of purple. And that's a sad thing. Can't be without some purple. So about half full of the mixed up art paste and about a third to a half. It's a big squirt of craft paint. Mix it up, see if you like it. If you don't, put in some more paint, or you can add some more of the mixed up paste. Seems a little thin, so I added a little bit more paint. Stir it up, and you just have to do it. There's no way for me to tell you, oh, this is exactly how much you put in. Yeah, I just mix it up and see if it works the way I like for it to work. Whoops, put my hand right in that wet paint. Well, that's brilliant, don't you know? I haven't been drinking much tea this afternoon. My throat's getting dry. For some reason, I am not carrying this all the way off the page. I don't know why I'm doing that. Who knows? I think I'm going to leave that one the way it is. I like that. The paste mixture will last for a couple of days. Alright, that one's a little too wet. If you cover it with some of that cling wrap, sometimes you can make it last a little bit longer. Honestly, I don't try and keep it. I just use it all up at the time that I'm doing it. And then I, get rid of it. It's very inexpensive. You're using craft paint and the materials all the way around are cheap, so I don't worry about it. I keep it during the time that I'm working, and then I throw it out. I don't try and save it. Now, the first time I ever did it, I saved it, and saved it for a few days. But it eventually dries up. You can draw into it, if you have those silicone or whatever they are, like the style sticks, you can draw into it. You can even stamp into the wet paint. Sometimes it works, like with foam stamps. Sometimes it works great, sometimes it doesn't work at all. It just truly depends on the stamp, the consistency of the paint, just everything. Since there's no exact science, you just kind of have to go for it and see what happens, And as I'm sure you can tell, and everybody does this, you develop your own patterns that you like the best. I like these plaid kind of diagonal patterns, just because they're just kind of fun to do. I like those. So every time I disappear off the camera, I'm straightening out the paper against the edge of the table a little bit. I'm not getting it totally flat, but it's flattening a little bit, which helps. So you can layer up these papers until you are either you've run out of paint or you're tired of doing it. And that's the truth. When you're done, you end up with paint all over your hands, all over your table, all over your clothes, on your nose. On your computer. But when you're in the mood to make paste papers, it's too much fun. It's kind of mindless, you know? And that's kind of cool. And that's nice. I like that pattern a lot. And that color combination. Sometimes you just get one where you go, oh, I like that so much. All right, let me see if there's any more here that need one more coat of color. Let's see if we can do one more on this one. My tea is stone cold. Stone, I do mean stone cold. But it wets my throat, and that's all we need. So this is a craft stick that I'm using. This was the stick that I used to mix up the paints and the paste. So you can add designs that way, draw into it. You can do more than that, but we're going to stop there. All right, let's do, There's a million different ways to pattern the paste. And the way that paste paper is really done, you cook the paste. You make the paste up and you cook it and you do all this stuff to it. That's the real way to do it. And bona fide paste paper artists would have, you know, we kind of go, oh, what is she doing? Because this is the easy way to do it. This is the easy way. Okay, we're going to do one more, and then we're going to call it done, and then I'm going to go back, and I'm going to show you the tags. Since you see me do the tags, I'm going to show you the tags that are finished that I put in a book a few weeks ago. Because I think it would give you more understanding now of what I did. So I'll go back and take a look at those, and we'll drag out the sponsors, and then we'll call it another successful drama-free Friday. What do you say? Does that sound good? And I hope that you will try doing some paste paper techniques of your own. And I hope you have a great time doing it. Just don't get judgmental about what you're doing at the time you're doing it. You need to let them sit, you need to walk away from them, and then come back and look at them, because you will be amazed at what you did. Trying to decide which color I want to use here. You can come back on top of these after this is done. You can stamp on it, on top of it when they're dry. You can stamp on it. You can doodle on top of it. You can do all kinds of things. Or you can just use it as raw materials for other projects. I wish you could see the colors in person, because they are not showing up on screen as well as they do in person, of course. But you got the idea, right? You're getting the idea. Thank you, Dorothy. Okay. I'm done creating this mess, so let me clean this up, because the sponsors have a place to be. That's another reason we have to clean up as we go. So that I don't have the sponsors making a huge mess everywhere. Can you imagine if they jump up here and hit this, what that would do? Oh my goodness, that could be a tragedy. Alright, let me set stuff off to the side just a second, and then I'm going to get the tags that I was going to show you that I used in the book, so you can see finished pieces. I'll show you how these turn out next week. And you end up, see this? You end up with very pretty hands. See that? Yes. Yes, you do. Okay, I'm going to leave this here, and I'll be right back. Okay, these were the books that I made a few weeks ago. These were the envelope books that we made. Sponsor art. Yeah, indeed. Sponsor art is so true. So these were the envelope books that we made a few weeks ago. And the tags, what I want to show you are the tags in here. Now I used a specific color palette, and I did these exactly the same way that I showed you today. I used a specific color palette of kind of the grungy colors that I was picking up from this paper. Okay, but these are done in the same exact way. And this was on a black tag. So some of these, this started out, this tag was printed to begin with, was like dictionary text on it. This was a black tag. Everything in here, I believe, it was either a black tag or the dictionary text tag. That's the way that came. So you can see the difference in the way they look. If it starts on black, it's going to immediately mute the colors down. There's more, and this has metallic. This is a, don't know which color green this was. That metallic is peridot, so this is a peridot color. Okay, so you can see, and I think the dots, I just took one of those style sticks, the round ones, and just twisted it to get the dots. Okay, so this has a lot of metallic. Even though it's grungy colors, there's a lot of metallics that I used in here, but I was trying to make the colors go with the book. Okay. And there's that one. This is probably the brightest one in the whole book. So there's that one. The other book, this was much brighter color palette because these were where I cleaned off the brayer when I was jelly plate printing. Now this is paste paper. This is paste paper also. So is this. So is this. And so is this. These are all paste papers done on cardstocks. So this is jelly plate where I was cleaning the brayer and stencils off. And so I used much brighter colors to do these tags. So you'll be able to see a big difference in how bright the colors are versus these working with different colors of paint. And you see how very dark. Now this is kind of bright, but it goes with this color palette because it's got kind of browns and golds in it. But you get the idea. I do believe you get the idea. So much brighter color palette, doing the same thing that we did today. Okay. Multiple layers of paint on each tag. And you can see how they flatten out. So even though the ones I have used today are very curled, they will eventually flatten out. You just have to be the boss of your tags. Okay, so there's that. And that one. Yeah, these are envelope books. So we made the envelopes and stitched them to the spine and then glued the envelopes together. So that's on stream. You can see that from a few weeks ago. It was inspired from a Pages magazine. And this is paste paper here and here and here and here. This one actually uses the wood graining tool. That's the wood graining tool right there. Okay, so that's that. Alright, so let me show you the mess down here so you can see where everything's drying. Okay, so that's where everything's drying on the floor down there beside me. So you can see the tags in various stages. So everything's down there and doing its thing. Okay? So I'll show you what they look like next time. Alright, so if you have any extra questions or things I didn't answer, think them up, type them in the chat. I'm going to get the sponsors out. And then we're going to call it a day. Whoa, you were waiting at the door. You were waiting at the door, weren't you? Oh, did you see that? He shot out of there like you've been shot out of a rock. Shot out of a cannon. You don't really need to walk on all my stuff. Not really. Yeah, it's probably dry enough. You're not going to mess it up, but you still don't need to really do that. All right, come here. Come here. Oh, big old boy. Ah, you're so big. Goodness sakes. Goodness sakes, you guys are big. Big and fat. They're even on special expensive cat food to try and take weight off of them. It's doing no good whatsoever. It's doing no good whatsoever. All right, mister. Come over here and lay down for your close-up, okay? Yeah, it's time for your close-ups. Yes. Oh, your eyes look terrible. Let me smear some paint in them. How'd you get all that crud in your eyeballs? Do you look good? You look good. Okay. All right, there they are. Sponsors. Sponsors and all. Whew, it's a lot of work to get them up here. Thanks, CB. Yes, here they are. Here are the said sponsors. Are you going to look at them? Chance just cannot seem to figure out how to make his mouth work since he's lost all those teeth, since his surgery. Just can't quite make his mouth work. He seems to eat just fine, but he just can't quite talk exactly right, because when he talks, his tongue hangs out the side of his mouth, and then he has to figure out how to get it back in. Oh, it's a trauma, I tell you. It's a trauma. It's just a trauma, isn't it? Yeah, I know. Of course, he's purring like crazy. You wouldn't even know he'd ever been traumatized by anything, would you? Yes. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us today. We will be back here for another episode of HowToGetCreative.com show known as Drama Free Friday. We'll be back here next Friday at same time, same place, 2 p.m. Eastern. I don't know what we're gonna do, because I never know what we're gonna do ahead of time. Sometimes I don't even know it till midnight the night before. I know, it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe I'm not better organized. Anyway, it's good to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And remember to get creative today, because you know it's easy. And I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.